Judge Joe Brown.
The last criminal case I ever tried as a lawyer, not tried, I had been elected to criminal court judge. It's been 27 years ago.
Yeah.
And this black judge asked me to do him a favor and accept an appointment on this fool who was giving two women who were in the PD's office all kinds of grief. So I said, okay. He said, well, you know, if you can't finish it up before you get sworn in, I'll let you off the case. So I get the file, I read this damn thing. I go down and see this fool in lockup. And I said, man, tell me, how in the hell you managed to try and hold up a Circle K in broad goddamn daylight with 5 marked squad cars parked around the thing? Well, see, man, they just trying to put a case on me. How in the hell do you get a case put on you when you try to hold up a place with 5 marked squad cars? Well, Lawyer Brown is like this, man. I'm walking down the street, man. I need some sheriff, man. And I see Circle K, man. Yeah, man. You know, they got some sheriff. So I said, man, I'm going to give me some sheriff, man. So I go back to the projects, man. You know, I got a lady friend over there. I got my ticket equipment. You know what that? I said, yeah, you done. Yeah, man, when I had it in the plastic bag, man, with some WD-40 in it, I had it buried behind one of the dumpsters, man. So I dug it up, got strapped down. Yeah, I know what that means. So, man, I walk into the Circle K, man. I got my shit out saying, Lord, yo, man, you know, it's going down. Let it hit the ground, man. Lord Brown, these 7 police jump on me, man, throw me on the wall, kick my ass, man. They didn't even read me my right. Well, fool, did you make a statement? No, I didn't make no statement. Well, no harm, no foul. This ain't your first go around. Yeah, man, but they didn't have to kick me my ass and not read me my rights. Ain't that enough to keep kicking? No, it's not. Why did you walk in there without what difference do it make, Lawyer Brown? What you mean, what difference does it make? You know, what's written is written. It's gonna go down. You mean like written in the big book? Yeah, man, the book. It's written in the book. The law will make what's gonna happen, man. You know, like it's supposed. You don't make no difference whether you look or whether you just let go. It's what's supposed to happen gonna happen.
Yeah.
Why did you resist the urge to rob things? Well, you know, Lord Brown, the urge, man, what put in motion was written. Man, you just a goddamn fool. Somebody talking about, we need to make the conditions of incarceration more harsh, and if they didn't have TVs and air conditioning, they wouldn't be in the penitentiary. Oh, you just got a goddamn fool. You gonna go down and try to hold up convenience, well, a Circle K, that's like 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
With 5 marked squad cars in broad daylight, what the hell do you think's gonna happen?
Now, did you want to say something, Ken? It sound like...
Yeah, you know.
No, I was just saying that in terms of, you know, the rights read to you and so on and so forth, and other issues, you know, like when you under... They brought that up into the movie, too. I know it's a movie, but I lived a lot of what's in the movie because, you know, I've been in the justice system myself. But they were saying that it's a difference being arrested and detained. Most of these guys that give statements, you know, they tell on themselves, they primarily do it when they up under detention. And they're not, you know, when they just detained for a minute. Like, he said something before, he said, somebody called the police and say, we believe that somebody is a terrorist. He said, the police, of course, going to respond to the people being the terrorists, but when the police get there, if they start holding people and start investigating people and so on and so forth, you know what I'm saying, and people start talking, those people are not under arrest, but they're giving that information and it will be used against them. And then once that person gets information, then the police say, okay, well, we're going to arrest you. What are you arresting me for? Because you should get a mistake. And I think that one of the things that we learned back in the gap was that ignorance is no excuse of the law. So a lot of times, you know, most of us out there that's hustling and getting money and doing whatever we do, blah, 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 we don't understand the law. And most of those laws is probably enacted probably at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, through the Congress when we sleep or when we out there in the streets. So it's just like a dual situation. You know what I mean? You damn if you do, you damn if you don't. You know, if you know the law, you understand me, and you understand the procedure, you still have to go through a rigorous process to beat the law. Because, like they say, they got a 99% conviction rate. You know, they put so much pressure on you, and a lot of times, like Deshae got caught. They tried to charge him with conspiracy and they charged him with felon possession of firearm. He spent 5 years in the county jail under federal law. And they was able to keep him indefinitely. It's not like where in the state they had to let him go within 72 hours. So he spent like 5 years. After 5 years, his lawyer convinced him that you didn't did 5 years and giving you a 5-year plea. You might as well plead guilty to 5 years because you can make it walk free. He pleaded guilty. But he was strong. He didn't know information. He fought him. He paid for his lawyer, what have you. But they still were able to, get a conviction rate out of him because they won him out, after the 5-year process. You know what I mean? And the deal that they offered him, well, you already did the 5 years. You might as well plead guilty. I mean, given that he done the 5 years in his mind, you figuring, yeah, I already did the time. So all I got to do is plead guilty and plead right out. But he didn't want to plead guilty because he didn't feel that he was guilty. He only pleaded guilty because he wanted to get out.
Well,
so other people,
they even have a rule for it. It's called Alford versus North Carolina. The Supreme Court said about 55 years ago that even if you're not actually guilty, you can plead guilty if you think it's in your best interest to do so. You may be thinking about, man, if I go to trial, man, and I try to tell my side of it, they're going to bring out this criminal record. Yeah, they're going to do that. And maybe it's better to take this time, so I only get 5 years. I'll do 30% of this, man. I'll be hitting the ground pretty time soon, no time soon. Real soon. Now, I ain't going to risk 15 years. That happens. Right. That's the way it works. But I mean, bottom line is, see, one of the things we have to do, and I grew up in South Central LA. I mean, that's when LAPD was like the Gestapo. Adolf Hitler would love those suckers from back then. Man, I've been thrown up on a wall so many times in LA, man, I don't even remember all of them. But bottom line is, they used to run that thing down on all of us. If you tell, we'll let you go. I ain't got nothing to say to anybody. And it wind up ultimately having to let you go. But that was just something you either did or you didn't do. Everybody was trying to talk their way out of it, man. They wound up running their mouth off saying the wrong thing. But bottom line is that what we have to do is understand that some of the stuff we do ain't got nothing to do with Robin Hood. We got to start getting a little more order. We got to start paying a little bit more attention in school. Start dealing with, okay, I got some things I got to take care of. I can't do this, I can't do that. I know that everybody else is, but I'm not going to. And we have to put a little order in our community. Because, for a long time, even when I got to be a judge, I lived off in the hood. But, man, I got burglarized 7 or 8 damn times. I got sick of that. I said, I'll tell you what, before I have to kill somebody, I'm going to move someplace else, and I'll come back rather than living in this place because it's hell. Now, that may be a cop-out, but I had the means. Hell, I was a judge. So the bottom line is do I want to catch a case or get myself caught up in that mess because somebody's acting a fool and I got to shoot him? Or do I get in a more peaceful situation and go back and tell folks, yeah, don't have to do that? See, I did stuff as a judge you're not going to get most judges to do. I go out deep in the projects and say, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, man, didn't I order you to get your ass in home? What you doing out here? Oh, shit. Man, who this dude? Oh, man, that's Judge Brown, man. You got a problem Hey, man, congratulations. You've been doing right. Oh, you mean just because we got put on probation? No. I just want to tell you thank you for what you've been doing. You mean straightening up? No, I want to thank you for the crime. Huh? Yeah, man, we need you to do criminal shit. You lying. No, keep it up. That's good work. Just keep it up. We depend on you. Huh? You mean you want us? That's what the system wants you to do. You don't believe it. They want you to straighten up. They got all these good citizens who are scared of you. They make money when you're locked up. You keep the people in your neighborhood from voting because they're scared to go out. Everybody's in chaos. You know, you keep all these other good white folk. They get jobs. You don't. Keep it up, man. You good for business. Oh, man, wait a minute. You telling us to keep it up? Yeah, man, I'd be lying to you if I was representing the system and told you I wanted you to straighten up. I don't. As a brother, I want you to straighten up because you don't need to be doing what you do. You're up here in the slave quarters. And by the way, they are about to spring a real bad move on the public. You see, the 13th Amendment outlawed slavery, but it didn't totally outlaw it. Basically, it says there shall be no slavery nor involuntary servitude except upon due process of law as a punishment for a criminal offense. See, under American law, they can still make you a literal slave as a punishment for a crime.
And, you know, concurrence, which was saying that in Angola, they still got cotton fields.
Yeah. Well, see, young brother, I'm 70 years old, and I want to tell you, look, I'm scared for you, because you haven't seen nothing yet in your lifetime, but not mine. In about 25 to 30 years, America will no longer be a majority white country, and they're going to start pulling off some stuff to push back. Not all white people, but a lot of them, especially the poor ones, are getting a rank deal too. And we are so easy to be the ones.
But then you said, you know, in answer to a lot of problems that I think you kind of pretty much hit it on the head earlier. If we vote, just like we did in the situation with Alabama when we was able to vote Judge Moore, you know what I'm saying? They was able to get the Jones dude over Moore. You know what I'm saying? And 98, 90, I think it was 96% of the black folk did it. If we just start voting in group economics, we start practicing group economics, I think that a lot of the social engineering and a lot of ploys and plots, you know, that our open enemy is plotting against us, I think that we can curtail it by just simply, you know, voting as a group and voting with an interest, voting with a purpose. And, you know, I agree with you were saying earlier about, you know, you said we need to vote more judges that look like us in office. I think we need to vote more Congress, man, senators, even though, like you said, they don't have no real power. You know what I mean? We still, you know, for even if it's for cosmetic purposes, you know what I'm saying, we need to, you know, vote more of our people into office, or people who claim to have our best interests at hand and who proves to have our best interests at hand.
Now, let me say this again.
Okay.
You young brothers need to be very careful about what they're going to do with the 13th Amendment. As it stands, listen very carefully. The 13th Amendment did not totally outlaw slavery. It's still legal in America if it is a punishment for a criminal offense. Some of these folk, when it really gets big, in about 25 to 30 years, they're going to get the idea to reimpose legal slavery. And then the other thing, too, let me point out the bad side of what happened in Alabama. You had a choice between Moore and Jones. Moore is a fool. But what did Jones do for his whole professional career? He was a prosecutor. He made his reputation on locking a lot of us up.
Okay.
And there is Kamala Harris. She's a black woman. She was a career prosecutor in Los Angeles. I will tell you, after 47 years in this system, do not trust career prosecutors if they have not done something besides prosecution before they get in a political office. It's not a prosecutor's office. Beware of them, because power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and they've been too used to looking at us as somebody to lock up.
Yeah.
It's not good. So we got one hell of a devil's choice here. Moore, the obvious bad choice, and Jones, who is
And Judge, I was saying that I was kind of pretty much agreeing with you saying that we got to make sure that the people that we vote in, they have our best interests at hand. You know, now if Jones or Moore don't have our best interests at hand, then we need not, even consider them at all.
That's right. That office will be back on the ballot in 2 years. Well, 2020. Let me give an example. In Memphis here, they had one guy, criminal court judge. He kept getting an overwhelming vote from the black community. All of these black power brokers would put him on sample ballots and tell the community to vote for him. Do you know what his history was? He had been the former Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan in Memphis. And he had been president of the White Citizen Council for 8 years. And they
so when that
back on it, he was one of the worst racists you can run into.
Okay, when it's suffice to say that be the case, then the black leadership is complicit and conspiring with these people in order, because if they're in position, if they're lawyers and they're leaders, they should know. They should have been embedded, these people, and know their background and know their history. Because if you know history, so it's correct to say that not only do we have a problem with the criminal justice system and the disparity with the criminal justice system towards African Americans, but it's also the leadership. The black leadership in the criminal justice system, the black leadership in the political arena, that's also a problem.
Yes. Half of them have no spine. Let me say something on that. See, our cities are becoming plantations, but the Negroes have no cotton to pick, and they got a whole bunch of would-be black leaders who are going around fighting to become plantation overseers where the plantation has no crop. Now, we have a dearth of black leadership on the national level. There is none. And on the local level, it's few and far between. Now, one thing I have to point out, this is a good sign. Kaepernick, this thing he's done about taking the knee, see, it's taken off. And all kinds of stuff has happened. They've even got the president of the United States getting involved in this. They've got everybody seeing what they want to see out of this. But Kaepernick is not likely to achieve his objective of getting this protest of the NFL being complicit with what's happening in the inner cities, the way police have been running amok in our neighborhood. What he's doing is he's actually created a movement for whatever the purpose is. So he has, if he's wise, the opportunity to build on what he's done and become a young black voice with a national audience that can get something done. And we haven't had that in a long time.
Well, I think that, we did a show talk about counterinsurgency drugs. I think that they pump so much cocaine and weed and heroin in our community. Really what it does is it creates a dependency where the young leadership are so busy smoking weed that when you look at the Black Lives Matter, you see more white people out there, and these Negroes are so high, they're like, man, I'm going to go there tomorrow, but I'm high as an MF right now. I can't go right now. And I think that's one of the things. That's one of the things that I see. I see a lot of young African American men smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? And now they legalizing weed, just like they legalized alcohol. I made an argument last month. I said the reason why they legalized alcohol because if you look at the Great Depression when bootleg was at its height, that was the drug that actually made the people forget about their problems, forget about they were broke. And people became alcoholics. Nowadays, we don't see the Black Panthers, we don't see the Huey Newtons and the A. Browns, we don't see the Malcolm X because Negroes is so high and the counterinsurgency drugs is so effective that we don't have no true leadership. Like you said, the young brother, that Tucker D. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's rare, and you don't even know. I don't know what's going to come up out of it, but we know that that's the type of leadership. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that we had back in the '60s. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with SNCC and the Black Panther movement and Martin Luther King, civil rights movement. We don't see that today. We don't see that feistiness. We don't see that strong young steel anymore. I mean, most of these leaders, and I ain't got nothing against Jesse Jackson and none of those brothers that I was sharp, and most of them brothers, they get a paycheck. Most of their organizations, nonprofit organizations, and the people who bankroll you control you. And as soon as you start taking a knee or you start acting crazy, first thing they do is they pull your resources and they stop allocating funds to your movement. And I think that, that's one of the things we're talking about. Even, with some of the more aggressive, some of the more stronger black organizations, you know what I'm saying? We don't even see those organizations, making noise anymore, because one of the ways you make noise, and we find this, I'm not a member of the Nation of Islam, but the old Nation of Islam under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, one thing we knew about us back then, they had schools, they had mosques, they had businesses, they were economically sufficient.
You're right on point. And by the way, see, there's an excuse about you gotta make this money, you can't. See, look, when I did my show for 15 years, and there were some things they wanted me to do I would not do in terms of some stuff they wanted me to say or rule for women because it was good ratings rather than correct as per justice. So it got to the point, if you look up Wikipedia, they'll tell you what I was making. Big money.
Yeah.
See, it got the last couple of years, I beat Phil every week, I beat Oprah every week, and I was running neck and neck with Judy every week. They changed the ratings so I wouldn't start beating Judy. But they wanted me to do something. So I quit a job that basically was paying me $20, $25 million a year without bonuses included on it. And I quit it because they ain't going to do it. Now, you see, it's interesting being in a position where you don't have to ask the price or something. That ain't all that I make. But I just said, no, I'm not going to do that. You can take the money and go to hell because I'm not going to do it. You see, we have to get some people that are saying, okay, almighty dollar is what it is, but sometimes that matter of principle, that matters of principle that you just have to put your foot down on. And quite frankly, I think the money aspect for a lot of our people is just a front because they're just scared. They have no balls. Now, here's what they do in Hollywood. They don't like straight black men. If you were straight and black and you get too big, they'll try to take you down like they were trying to take me down. They wanted to take Bill Cosby down because he had the opportunity to get a new network. They didn't want that. Every straight black man that doesn't read a script, they want to get rid of. Whether you're talking about Chappelle or anybody, they want to get rid of you when you get too big. But the bottom line is you just have to keep that in mind. Do what you got to do as long as you can do it. When you're on top, tell them to go to hell rather than letting them beat you down. Now, we need more of that. And too many of these brothers use that as an excuse just because they have no balls. Now, I have a bone to pick with some of the young black lawyers. Some of them have no balls. They're scared of every damn thing. And they go, I can't afford to jeopardize my career. Well, hell, fool, we did. And you can't get lynched. I mean, I got 5 days in jail for contempt of juvenile court because they were doing something wrong to a woman that didn't deserve it. So it's my job as a man to stand up and say, hell, send my ass to jail. I wouldn't back down. But the bottom line is, first time I went in that place 45 years ago, they called me the N-word. We really went off.
Mr. Brown, I got a book deal about 10 years ago with this company called Simon & Schuster. They're like one of the biggest companies in the market.
I heard of Simon & Schuster, yes.
Yeah, my first book was called The 48 Laws of Game, which it was somewhat like a parody to the 48 Laws of Power. And to concur with what you were saying, in the meet, when we would take meetings, they would tell me they wanted me to write books like First Slim, where I talk about beating up black women and where I was supposed to be this destructive individual. And I argue with them people like for hours. I said, I'm not going to write no book like that. I said, I want to write a book. I want to have some type of social commentary. I said, I'll talk about the streets, but then I will have an explanation, and I will call it the ism. But, deal with, books that I read, like Think and Grow Rich and so on and so forth. And it really was trying to push me to be so derogatory, so negative. They said, this is what the people wanted. I said, I'm not feeding the people that. I said, I'm not going to do it. And they was offering me 6 figures. And I ended up getting the money, but the book was written the way that I wanted to write it. And the book was a success. It's still a success. It's still the #1 selling book, especially in prison. So you are absolutely right. These people are very into social engineering. You know what I'm saying? They're very into the depletion of the African American community. They want to feed us filth and debauchery and dirt and all this other stuff. At the same time, when it comes to their writers, they want the Zig Ziglars, they want the Norman Vincent Peale and the Napoleon Hills of that type of perspective. But when we try to write something, they say, well, we got to do this or we got to do this, or it's got to be black or it's got to be hip, it got to be hip hop. And even in the music industry, we see the same thing. I was telling Reek the other day, I said, man, Lil Wayne is $10 million. His contract is $10 million. If 1 million of us came with $10, we could buy Lil Wayne contract. And Lil Wayne would say what we wanted to say. You know what I'm saying? But he would say what the ministers and the pastors and the judges and the lawyers and the upstanding people in our community want them to say, because he would own us. But you got to remember, the people that's hiring Lil Wayne are these white executives who actually they have to sign off, because I hear the contract. They sign off on what he say. I'm gonna kill your grandmama. I'm gonna shoot your brother up. I got my tech. You see what I'm saying? And these people, if you don't go with their program, if you don't participate in the social engineering and the depletion of the African American community, then these folks, either they're gonna blackball you or they're gonna tell you get the hell, get the step. And
Too cool to count 24/7.